is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Ohio.
The dog days of August have become trying times for the Tribe. They've now lost 5 of their last 7. Their lead in the AL Central still stands at 2.5 games, and tonight they visit our nation's capital. The task at hand, take down red-hot Max Scherzer and get the train turned around. And since we're in Washington, D.C., we can quote founding father Thomas Paine, who said, "The harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph." Just down the street from Pennsylvania Avenue in Washington, D.C., tonight we visit Nationals Park as the Indians take on Washington in a brief 2-game interleague series. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. The Indians still trying to get some consistency going since the All-Star break, a losing record since then. They turn to Trevor Bauer, who will start tonight for the Indians. And Rick, you go back to that game in Toronto when he came out of the bullpen. He pitched 5 innings that night. Since then, he's averaged fewer than 5 innings per start.
Yeah, I know it. And you know, it's been 5 starts. And everything has been upstairs for him for whatever reason. He hasn't had his good breaking ball. He's only gone 6 innings one time. He's given up 5 home runs. They need him to get back to his 2-seam fastball, his changeup, and get some good bite to his breaking ball to see what happens. You can see 0-3 and an ERA of over 8. He'll be facing one of the tough customers in the National League, Max Scherzer. We know him very well. 12-6 on the year. This guy, explosive fastball, outstanding changeup, and also a good breaking ball. 11 times this year, he has double-digit strikeouts. So he's going to, I would think, exploit the hitters when he gets to 2 strikes and maybe throw that fastball at belt high and above and see how he does.
Yes, 6 times in his last 10 starts. He's had 10 or more strikeouts. So definitely a tough task at hand for the Indians tonight. We'll be back with the first pitch between Cleveland and Washington next. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by W.B. Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by your local Toyota dealers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. Welcome into Nationals Park here in Washington, D.C. Before we get to tonight's first pitch, we go down to Andre Knott for a developing story inside the Indians dugout.
Yes, as this game gets underway, Terry Francona will not be in the team's dugout throughout tonight's game. He's fell ill. Brad Mills will be the acting manager throughout the night. Terry is here in the building, but he will not be here inside during the game in the dugout.
All right, thanks, Andre. We'll certainly pass along any information if and when that becomes available. But Tito not feeling well late this afternoon. He met with Andre and the writers, but he expressed to them that he just didn't feel right. Something was wrong. So obviously they're going to keep him under close observation and make sure everything checks out okay. Carlos Santana leading off and takes outside, ball one. .79 degrees, our game time temperature under nothing but cloudy skies. Popped him up, foul ground. Rendon will make the grab near the Indians dugout. One away. The rest of the Indians lineup brought to you by Progressive. Looks like this: Jason Kipnis, followed by Francisco Lindor. Indians have some hot hitters in that lineup, like Jose Ramirez, who's hit in 12 straight. He'll bat cleanup. Lonnie Chisnall's fifth, Naquin sixth, Almonte Perez and Trevor Bauer will bat ninth, this being a game in a National League park.
It truly will be a National League lineup tonight.
Jason Kipnis looks at a fastball from Max Scherzer. Get me over heater at 93, but he can power it up to mid to upper 90s when needed.
Well, he'll go with that fastball. He has a very good changeup to go with it, as long as a breaking ball. Last time he started against the Indians, 2014, when he was a Detroit Tiger.
It's his second year with the Nationals. He signed a colossal contract. Popped him up. Foul ground again. It's Rendon. 2 down.
Take a look at the Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher, Max Scherzer. His 24th start. Nice record of 12-6. Look at the ERA, 2.87. He's just 2 strikeouts shy of 200. He has allowed 24 home runs. Now that's the thing. You're only going to hit $1.90 off him, but you better take him deep. And if you get a guy on and you can get a 2-run homer, that would bode well. But going into a game, you're going to face Scherzer. I would expect you're going to think it's going to be a low-scoring game.
Here's Francisco Lindor, and he takes a fastball for a called strike. Down and in. He went around though. So Lindor quickly in the hole. 0-2. It's down in the dirt. Goes to the backstop.
Let's set the Nats defense for you. It'll be Worth in left, Rivera in center, Heisey over in right, Rendon at third, Espinosa at short, Turner is at second, Murphy at first, Ramos doing the catching.
Up and away, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brad Mills operating in the managerial post tonight with Terry Francona having taken ill before the ball game. The Indians go 1-2-3 as Lindor lines out to end the top half of the first. The Nationals are coming to bat. lineup that Trevor Bauer will face tonight for Dusty Baker's Washington Nationals. It's brought to you by Spitzer Automotive. Trey Turner leading it off. Jason Worth bats second. Daniel Murphy, what a hitter, batting third. Then it's Anthony Rendon, Wilson Ramos, Chris Heisey, Danny Espinosa, Ben Revere, and the pitcher Max Scherzer will bat ninth.
And our Honda starting pitcher's Trevor Bauer. Bauer looking for a win. He needs one badly, making his 18th start. His last win as a starter came June 27th in Atlanta. His last win was that bullpen outing in Toronto.
Trey Turner takes a fastball strike in the outside corner.
Turner, a young man that had a good series in Cleveland.
A little bit outside.
For me, though, what I like is that he's down in the strike zone. He's been up with everything in his last 4 starts. So it's good to see that he's down in the zone. Good pitch.
Right out in front of the plate. Perez has to hurry. Got him by a whisker at first.
Yeah, this kid can get down the line. He can fly. And he had to wait for that ball to come down because it had spin on it, Matt. And it looks like it spins right back to him.
It did.
And I mean, he was out in front of the plate, but he had to wait. And look at that ball just pounce straight up. And watch how close Turner made it. There it is. He was on the way down, so a good play by Perez. There's Trevor's numbers this year. 7-5. ERA is up over 4 now. Allowed 12 home runs. And this is the first time he's pitched to Perez, I think, since his very first start.
Pitch up high, and it's ball 1 to Jason Worth, batting .249 on the year. And a fastball strike. Getting some more information now on the status of Indians manager Terry Francona.
Yes, he did.
Went around. Andre telling us that Terry was not feeling well tonight before the ball game. He's been experiencing some chest pains. He's been examined here at the ballpark. And as far as we know, he is still here at the park. So hopefully that means that's good news. Pitch is outside, 2-2. The scary thing is this comes on the heels of Bruce Bochy just a day ago missed a game because he was experiencing chest pains.
And he had issues last year where he had some stints put in.
You're talking about 2 of the game's most widely respected managers.
Yeah.
Bruce Bochy, Terry Francona. Now Bochy said he had an irregular heartbeat. They've adjusted his medication and he feels like he'll be okay. And
he's supposed to manage tonight, Tuesday. Yeah. Well, let's hope Tito's going to be fine.
Pitch is outside. Ball 4 to Jason Worth. Bauer with a 1-out walk.
Let's set the Indians defense, brought to you by Jeep. Behind Bauer tonight looks like this. In the outfield, Almonte in left, Naquin in center, Chisenhall in right, Ramirez at third, Lindor at short, Kipnis at second, Santana is at first with Perez doing the catching. And for Worth, that is the 39th straight game he has appeared or reached base.
Pitch is inside. One on, one out. Daniel Murphy, the batter. And that's smoked but fouled on the right side. Murphy batting .350 on the year.
Yeah, what a season he's putting together. 58 extra base hits. 350, 81 ribbies, 21 homers.
Swung out and missed. Nice pitch by Bauer. Took a little something off. Murphy out in front of it.
That was a good changeup. Here you'll see his rankings in the National League. Average in hits first, tied for first in doubles, slugging, multi-hit games.
He leads his teammate Wilson Ramos by 12 points in the batting race. One-two pitch. Little topper. Santana will have to flip it to Bauer. 2 down.
Just take the out at first. Santana looked like he wanted to try and go to second base. Just take the sure out.
Keys to the game come to us courtesy of Wayside Furniture. Work the pitch count against Max Scherzer. And for Trevor Bauer, fastball command will be important. I mean, it normally is for a pitcher, but
yeah, more so with Trevor. Keep it getting the ball down. This is a Nat team. They've been playing very well at home. They're 33 and 21.
Fly ball right field. Lonnie Chisenhall makes the catch. The side is retired, and we're scoreless after 1 in D.C. Back here at Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. Ready for inning number 2. No score for the Indians. Jose Ramirez, Lonnie Chisenhall, and Tyler Naquin due up. Jose Ramirez coming off a series against the Yankees in which he was 6 for 12. During his 12-game hitting streak, he has 20 hits. Batting well over 400 during his tear.
He's been consistent. I got to tell you, he's been very good all year long. Moved into the top 10 in hitting.
He's batting in that cleanup spot tonight with no DH. Tough right-hander on the hill, so Tito figures he'll have Santana play at first, being the switch hitter, and give Napoli at least the start of the game off. Right. We'll see if maybe he appears as a pinch hitter later. Behind the bag. Long flip. Scherzer beats Ramirez to the bag.
And runs up his back.
Let's go down to Andre.
Well, we talk about Max Scherzer and talking to some of the guys that will face him, like Jason Kipnis. He says, don't read the mile per hour readings. He says 94 looks like 96 out of his hand. He goes, the ball pops at the end, and everybody says fastballs don't rise. He goes, well, go up there and stand against Max Scherzer. It rises. He says you got to be careful with that, but also they don't want to get him deep in the count because he has pitches to get away from you. And trust me, Knapp wants in the lineup, and he'll be ready if he can. He already told me he's waiting for his moment tonight because he's hit a home run in this ballpark before. He says the ball shoots out to right center because you asked me to, Arch. He says right center is where the ball flies in this ballpark.
Yeah, I figured it was. I mean, we were looking at the ballpark earlier, being our first trip here, and it looks a little bigger when you're down on the field. But we assume it's like Baltimore, where it's hot and humid, the ball will fly and travel. So if Knapp's gone deep here, he would know.
Lonnie Chisenhall takes the 0-1 pitch in off the plate. Inside with a heater, 2-1. Way outside. Three balls and a strike.
Scherzer yelled at himself. We're actually pulled off of that ball.
And he popped him up on the 3-1.
That's the one Kipnis was talking about. That fastball belt higher above. It doesn't come down, boy. It actually probably keeps the same plane, but it's got some giddy up at the end, and he's got 3 foul ball outs already out of the first 5. Check it out on our Nissan pitch tracker above the belt, and you can see that ball stays right there or just has some giddy up to it, and that's the 3rd out he's been able to get in foul territory. And they were all in the same pitch, high fastball.
Yeah, now here's Tyler Naquin. Is that pitch perhaps a double-edged sword for Scherzer in that he gets a lot of easy outs, but that's also why he's given up 24 home runs?
He could give up 24 home runs. Yeah, maybe later in the game when you know, they get through that one time and they get a look at it and see what it does. Yes, it could be the high fastball, but it's not an easy pitch. I mean, because he can come down in the zone, and right now he's just trying to get settled in and get a feel for it.
Well, Naquin falls behind now. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And this is, you know, the one weakness. If you were to pitch Tyler Naquin, you pitch him belt high and above. And so far it's been that way to this point. See how he tries to put him away. Back to the heater. There it is.
And the elevated fastball continues to be a vexing pitch for Indians hitters. 6 up, 6 down, middle of the 2nd, no score. inning. And for Washington, Wilson Ramos will lead it off. Pitch in there for a called strike.
He's having a heck of a year. Ramos is third among major league hitters in batting average, trailing his teammate, as you said. 11th with runners in scoring position. He's got a .351 average there. That's 6th in the National League. And his swing is to go the other way toward right center field. That's why it's built. This ballpark is built for his swing. Open stance.
Chop to third. That stays fair, and it goes by Ramirez.
Well, all he has to do is catch it, because you got one of the slowest guys running. And there it is. Easy play. Just doesn't catch it. So Ramos will reach base. That's the leadoff hitter now. So an error on Ramirez, the 61st for the Indians.
And it brings up Chris Heisey. Heisey in there. Bryce Harper still sidelined. He came out of the game Saturday in a Nationals loss because he had some stiffness in his neck. Dusty Baker said the other day that he hadn't undergone any kind of testing, but he gave him an extra day off. They were off yesterday, and he figured 3 days rest should have him back in there for tonight's series opener against the Indians. Obviously, that didn't happen.
Well, good chance. He had some neck issues, but we'll probably see him tomorrow. Matter of fact, I hope he stays out. Doesn't matter.
You wonder, though, a lot of the probably Nationals fans and folks who follow the ball club have focused on Bryce Harper's struggles this year, because we're talking about a guy who was unanimous MVP and just a terrific all-around player, and he's hitting .233 this year. Well, and so with his failures, though, or his performance being less than what they expected him to do this year, has Wilson Ramos, who hit .229 a year ago, is he more than made up for the lack of production?
Yeah.
And they added Daniel Murphy.
Right. I mean, you know what? If you're going to have a year the way that he's having it, Bryce Harper is, what are you going to do? That guy's been outstanding, and you just mentioned Ramos has been outstanding. But you know what it does? It gets guys like Heisey at bats and other people where you don't have to rely on your one guy, and they're cruising along at first place. So there's really, you don't worry about it.
Good pitch by Bauer. He took a page from Scherzer's book, went right up the ladder, gets his first strikeout, one away. Injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. In addition to Bryce Harper, Ryan Zimmerman. Didn't seem like he just came off the DL.
He was back in Cleveland, yeah. And back on it again. Drew's on there with vertigo. Ross is a starter's on there with shoulder. Lobatone, an extra catcher. But you don't need it, but the one catcher they have right now.
Yeah, the Drew issue, that happened, I think, just before they came to Cleveland, or right around the same time.
It was an ongoing process when he came to Cleveland.
Danny Espinosa. He's hit 18 home runs this year. Driving in 56. Switch hitting shortstop. Curveball missed down and in. And the count 1-1 Washington on the year 33-21 here at home. Very similar to the Indians mark with 31-20 at Progressive Field. These teams are similar in a lot of ways. They're built around strong pitching. They've got some guys that can hit the ball out of the ballpark. They play well
did
at
the
home.
same thing. They went out after a closer before the trading deadline, like the Indians went out and got, Miller. They went out and got Mark Melancon from the Pittsburgh Pirates, and he's taken over the closer's role now. Yeah, they have a good team. They're a very good ball club to go with the Cubs. You talk about winning percentage. They just trail the Cubs. The Giants, another good team that they just beat 1-0 on Sunday here. This is one of the 3 teams, the elite teams in the National League.
Just missed, and it's 2-2. One out, runner at first. That's the catcher Ramos, and really no threat of running.
That's why I'm surprised. Nice pitch. Fastball had some comeback to it.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Trevor Bauer.
Yeah, good fastball there. Located beautifully. This will be our Circle K strikeout. Watch it have a little comeback to it on the plate. He almost tried to throw his elbow.
Sure
out
did.
There,
Yes,
watch.
he did.
He's got protection out there.
He really did throw it out there.
He threw it out there knowing that was going to be a strike.
He may have.
And if he would have got hit, he wouldn't have had to give him first base.
I was going to say he may have realized, oh, if I get hit, I'm going to get called out anyway.
Yeah. I'm surprised Santana's not playing behind Ramos at first with a left-handed hitter.
Agreed. That time Ramos took a secondary lead. The previous pitch, he didn't even take a secondary lead.
I mean, here you go. Watch the front elbow. He went out there to push it. He just missed it.
And he was on the plate.
Of course, that's where he wears the padding. If he didn't have that padding on, he'd be going the other way.
That's the one thing, about the Indians. Geyer,
he doesn't wear
anything
anywhere. That's right. If you want to get on the plate and take it, I mean, he's taken what, 46
in the last 2 years, 47.
There you go.
Yeah.
If he takes it like that and he takes it like a man, that's fine.
Up the middle, a base hit by Revere. Ramos hits second. He's headed for third, and he will make it. Ben Revere, a perfectly placed single right up the gut. And the Nationals have runners at the corners with 2 down.
That's okay. You have to face the pitcher, but he gave him something to swing at, and he hits it right back up the middle, gets it past Kipnis. And with 2 outs, Ramos goes to third base. So now 2 outs, still a chance to get out of this inning.
The pitcher Max Scherzer for the year has gone 6 for 48. Chops at it, fouled out of play to the right. Blowing away, 1 ball, 1 strike. Missed outside, 2-1. Nationals Park opened in 2008. 1 year after our last visit to the nation's capital.
Yeah, because they were back in Cleveland, 11, and this year, was it 13? 10 and 13 in this year. Well, Bowers, this is the guy you want, man. You don't want to walk the pitcher.
Out of play, full count. Three-two.
Putting up a nice swing for a pitcher.
That was a fastball that was riding and may have been out of the strike zone, but Scherzer was able to go up there and get a piece of it. Runner goes at first. The payoff pitch is fouled away again. This ballpark holds 41,313. Definitely has some nuances as far as the outfield is concerned. Again, the 3-2. Got him looking. Good fastball, well executed by Bauer. He strikes out 3 in the inning. And the Nationals strand a pair. No runs, a hit, an error, 2 left. And after 2, we have no score in D.C. Cold one to stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time. It's brought to you by Miller Lite. T-Mobile, greater coverage of baseball. Brandon Crawford of the Giants. He went 7 for 8. That's the 5th 7-hit game in the majors since 1913. The first since Ronaldo Antonio Stennett of the Pittsburgh Pirates in 1975. Wow. What did Omar have? He had 6 in the game against the Yankees, right?
I've seen 6-hit games in person. Never.
George Orta, didn't he have a 6-hit
game? Yes, he did, Matt, against Minnesota, I believe. That was 7 hits in one game, and he got everything rolling. You can't get 7 hits in batting practice. What a night.
Abraham Almonte pops the first pitch up. This time it's out of play.
Kemp.
There's a fly ball. Shallow right. In comes Heisey. And he's got that one away. Here's the 7-hit games since 1913. And I think Reddy Stennett was a perfect 7 for 7 in that game against the Cubs.
Rocky had 7,
How about that? Don't knock the Rock. Johnny Burnett for Cleveland back in 1932. Which I think was the same year Cleveland Stadium opened. Not for baseball, but
For the Olympics.
that was the story. And now I don't know how accurate that was, but that was a story that they supposedly built it with the hopes of maybe attracting the Olympic Games. But, you know, as crazy as it sounds, back then at that time in the 1930s, Cleveland was booming.
Yeah.
It's one of the big industrial Midwest towns in the Great Lakes region. So as crazy as that idea might seem now, back then, the Olympics probably weren't that big of a long shot. The 1-2 on the way to Roberto Perez, way outside. Perez had 2 hits in his last game, equaling the most he had had coming into yesterday's game on the year. He's out looking on the 2-strike pitch. Back comes Scherzer with his 2nd strikeout of the night. 2 down in the inning.
He just started to look like a breaking ball right at him. Let it come over the plate. It just locked him up. It stayed right there. He wasn't looking for that. 2nd strikeout. Now Bauer will get his chance. Bauer in his career has 1 hit. And guess what? Guess who that hit came off of? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was the guy that's unhittable for the Cubs.
Right. So
Jake
maybe,
Arrieta.
yes, you're exactly right. So maybe he'll get a hit here. He only hits the best. But other than that, 1 for 16, couple of sack bunts, 8 strikeouts. And that strikeout, by the way, was the 200th this season for Scherzer. Make it 2-0-1.
Almost looked like Bauer is under orders not to swing. 3rd strikeout for Scherzer. 9 up, 9 down.
You know, it's been a while. Jimenez did a pretty good job. He's done a pretty good job with him. So I'm just trying to like get with them and see how they've been working together, and hopefully call a good game tonight.
Roberto Perez, who has not caught Trevor Bauer in quite some time, has the right-hander on the hill tonight, so he's in charge of trying to guide him through it.
You know, it's worth a try because Trevor's been struggling, and you know, you can call a good game. The pitcher has to hit his spots.
Well, he hit that spot well, didn't he?
Yeah,
right into Jose Ramirez.
The timing by Jose. He made an error to start last inning, but I'll tell you what, he saves a hit leading off this inning, especially with a guy with speed. He timed it, man. He got up there. Looked like it might have been a little late, but
I think it was by him.
It looked like it. He stole a base hit right there, and thank God, because that guy can run.
Jason Worth walked his first time up, and that was a good looking pitch. Called a ball, and it's 1-1. I mean, Worth's a guy who seems like he walks a ton. And he has, let's see, 51 walks on the year. Not even close to the most on the team. Swings at that 3-1 pitch and towering pop to right. 2 down. Well, let's go back downstairs to Andre Knott.
Well, a little bit more. I know eyebrows were raised when they didn't see Chris Jimenez catching Bauer today, but Terry Francona says, look, he caught him all last year, and he needs to be with them. But all three of them work together, so much so that Jimenez yesterday on the off day walked to a nearby park to where the team is staying, and they went to a park and threw together yesterday, where Jimenez was working on him, trying to get a two-seam fastball and become more consistent with it. But all three of these guys sat down today before the game, went over hitters together. So even though Perez is out there, Jimenez is still a part of this match, of this battery, even though you don't see him out there on the field.
Hey, whatever you can do to turn it around and get this guy going, that's the key.
Strike to the inside corner. Daniel Murphy grounded out his first time up.
In turn, I think we put a lot too much pressure on catchers calling the game, and it's the pitchers that have to go out there and execute their game plan. You know, a catcher can put his fingers down, but ultimately the pitcher has to shake his head and say, no, 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 no. There you go, Trevor, take it.
1, 2, 3 go the Nats for the first time tonight. 5-9-1 on the putouts. And the Indians are yet to get a base runner aboard against Max Scherzer. But so far, Trevor Bauer has kept the Nats off the board. And so a nice little pitching duel developing here.
Yes, indeed.
In our nation's capital.
Right. Well, that's the way when you go into a game and you're facing a guy like Scherzer, that's what you think. I got to keep putting zeros on the board until my offense can get me something. Well, they'll start the second time through right now.
The 0-1 pitch. Francisco Mejia has extended his hitting streak to 48 games.
Oh my goodness.
He doubled in the first inning tonight for Lynchburg.
Well, didn't you tell me a couple days ago, I think it was Sunday or something, he had 2 strikes, and on the last swing he was able to get a hit.
I think that was Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah, on his last at bat.
And he kept it going the last couple of days on first at bat. That makes it easy. That's good.
48 games. That is unbelievable.
Yes, it is. That's remarkable.
1-2 pitch to Santana in the dirt. Carlos fouled out in the first inning. One of 3 foul outs, first time through the order that Scherzer was able to induce with that high fastball.
Carlos is one guy that can get on the high fastball, but if he's elevated above the belt, it's going to be awfully tough for him tonight. See if he goes back up there.
That one was down.
Yes. He can catch up to the one down. He went down and away. He tried to bounce one. What he tried to do is throw a low dart on the outside corner at the knees. And Carlos got a piece of it. Breaking ball.
And he struck him out with an off-speed pitch. Max Scherzer with his 4th strikeout. That's 3 in a row now.
Well, you're going to see the first time through, Scherzer able to get 3 easy outs in foul territory on that high fastball. 2 to third base, 1 to the catcher, and then also had 3 strikeouts that first time through. So this guy, you don't want to let him get it going because he has had some games this year that were unbelievable. He had a 20 strikeout game in May on the 11th against his former team, the Tigers. He went complete game, 20 strikeouts, and threw 119 pitches in that game. But as I mentioned, 11 times this year, double digits in strikeouts. Change up. 3 good weapons. That's why, as Kip has said, a lot of hitters, you don't want to fall behind 2-0 or 0-2-1-2 because he's got different ways to get you to chase. Now Kip's in a good hitting spot. Now you can get selective. 3-1. Just try and zone into something you like.
First time it looked like he may have overthrown. He tried to hump up with that fastball and missed his target. Now the 3-1.
Came at him. Fastball right there.
It's hard to describe though with Scherzer. You know, his windup and delivery looks so smooth and under control, and then that ball just bang, it comes out.
I just read his lips. He was telling him, cutter, cutter. He told Ramos when Kip just wasn't looking. There it is, the cutter. He was telling the catcher what he was going to throw. He didn't want the sign down. He just went ahead and says cutter, and he got the strikeout. That's number 5 now. Beautiful, right on the inside edge. That's a fastball, but it's got some cut to it.
That had a lot of spin on it. 5 strikeouts now, 4 in a row for Scherzer.
Number 1800 for Max.
And Lindor pops one sky high, out of play. Hardest hit ball of the game. Came off the bat of Lindor in the first. He had a line drive, but he hit it right at the first baseman, Daniel Murphy. Another pop-up, and again it's out of play.
It's funny because Ramos went with the changeup after that first foul ball like that, and he shook him off, and he wanted to throw a fastball again. Now will he go to it? Because he's fouled off. He's been a little tardy on those 2 fastballs. Coming again with it. 3 times in a row. Nice. He's getting it zoned in.
Well, he has struck out 5 straight. And the Indians have not had a runner reach base.
With the MLB.com at-bat app, you can stay connected all season with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet.
George Washington, the winner of the president's race between innings here tonight. They were honoring the Olympics in Rio with a president's race that included equestrian.
Yes,
horse jumping.
Teddy blew the last jump.
Teddy was all by himself.
He was.
He hit the fence post on the last jump. George Washington, your winner. 4th inning, no score. Anthony Rendon fly to right. His only time up.
Watch Teddy on the last hurdle. I mean, he had it. He never even picked up his right foot.
Just plain lazy,
and
Teddy.
I mean, he had it. He didn't have to look anywhere else. He had it well in hand. Disappointing.
Look at that form by George. Still got it.
Where were the last time we were here and we watched the president's race? One fell down and hit his head.
Yeah.
And remember the next day he got up and had Band-Aids all over his face. That was in what, 2007 you say? 2007?
Yeah. Is that Thomas Jefferson that went down?
Oh,
I'm trying to remember who it was.
It's about the last time we were here. He might have been president.
Here's the 3-1 to Rendon. Line to center. Naquin's got a long run. He's there. 1 down. Well, our last trip here in 2007, we certainly had some exciting baseball games. That was, of course, the year the Indians went deep into October baseball, but they came to D.C. and they won a wild game. Joe Borowski got one of those saves that you just shook your head at when it was over and said, how did we win?
How did we win that game?
Victor Martinez had a big home run late to give him the lead, and then Borowski somehow pulled the rabbit out of the hat in the 9th.
that was a year before this stadium opened.
Yeah. The thing I'll always remember about RFK Stadium was the red seat that Frank Howard hit a ball to.
Right.
That we stood on the field and said, there's no way.
No way.
There's no way
a human being could hit a ball that far. Well, Big Honda wasn't a human being. He was, what a gentleman, but he was, what, 6'8", 300+ pounds. And they loved him in Washington, too.
The 0-2. Big curveball. And Ramos sends a high fly ball to right field. Lonnie Chisenhall makes the catch. It's 2 down. Our great clip of the game from Sunday. Carlos Carrasco, who unfortunately was the losing pitcher, but he went 7. He walked 2, struck out 9.
Yeah, he pitched a good game. He was back. His stuff was very good. Offensively, they couldn't do anything. You know, he hung a breaking ball, gave up a home run, but he was back. He pitched very good.
It's a 3-2 ball game. What are you going to do?
Nothing. You can hold him to 3 runs, you should win a ball game. That's the way you look at it. And he's going to have to. And you know what? I think Carlos is going to be fine because you remember he missed those 5 weeks earlier in the year, so I don't think he's going to have a tired arm or anything like that.
Well, Trevor Bauer just rearing back through one by Chris Heisey, who he struck out his first time up.
Yeah, this is the guy you got to get going, and he's off to a good start tonight.
Down in the strike zone, but a little too low. Three and 1. Well, he walks the light hitting Chris Heisey with 2 down, and it stops the string of 6 in a row retired by Bauer. Join Indians team president Chris Antonetti Tuesday at Progressive Field for the Positive Coaching Alliance Breakfast presented by University Hospital Sports Medicine. That's a week from today. Fans will get a behind-the-scenes look at the Indians Player Development Program. Tickets are available online, positivecoach.org/chapters/Cleveland. Danny Espinosa. Boy, he was sitting dead red, and Bauer crossed him up with a good breaking ball.
The cutter on the inside part of the plate there. They think it's a straight fastball, and then at the end it just has a little dart to it, a little movement coming in on the hands. That was excellent pitch right there, well located.
It's funny, you know, the difference between, say, 86 and 82 miles an hour probably doesn't seem that much, but from 93 down to 88, 89, that seems to really take hitters off a lot.
And it all depends on how you're locating the fastball. That's what everything comes off of. If you're spotting your fastball and throwing it well, then that, you know, it doesn't have to be 95. You know, as long as there's 5 mile an hour difference, and the cutter should only be a couple miles an hour difference, really.
Boy, just painted him. Locked him up. 4th strikeout for Bauer. And the inning is over. We are scoreless through 4 in Washington. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. By your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. And by the Cleveland Clinic. Access anytime, anywhere. No score, 5th inning. Max Scherzer has retired all 12 that he has faced, and Jose Ramirez looks at a ball outside. Ramirez tapped one over to first base his first time up.
Well, for Scherzer, he struck out 5 straight, 6 out of the last 7 outs have come on the strikeout. Nice.
Scherzer barehand grab, throw to first, and he got him. What a backhanded scoop by Daniel Murphy.
He's not even the regular first baseman, and he makes the nice play. That was a heads-up job by Ramirez, just trying to make something happen. Scherzer makes the play barehanded, makes not a very good throw, but gets help from Daniel Murphy, and what a play. Nice pick, and it's a snow cone. Coming up with the bare hand, one hopper, man. That's good play.
So one away for Lonnie Chisenhall, who fouled out his first time up. Paints the outside corner with a fastball.
Yeah, he's starting to zone it in where he's throwing everything for strikes when he wants to.
What is it in particular about Scherzer that makes him one of the game's best? Is it just his ability to command consistently?
He has 3 above average pitches he can come at you with. He can that fastball, and he cuts it. And he also has the breaking ball, and he has the changeup, and he can command a lot of them. I mean, that was
to left, 2 down.
That was at the knees, down and away. You know, let's look at this slow motion. Here's your fastball you're looking at, and the hitters say it's got that little extra giddy up to it, where it's awfully tough to catch up to. Here's his slider. Now that's not the same as his cut fastball. Here's his cutter. You can see it's going to be a little tighter than his slider, and then he has the changeup to go with it as well. So you know, there's 4 pitches. And it goes anywhere from 95 down to 85.
There's a big curveball down to Andre.
Talk about how effective Scherzer is at that last inning. Cookie Carrasco, who pitched the last game in New York, came over to the TV I'm at, and he goes, I got to see those last 3 pitches on TV. He goes, I haven't seen anything move like that in years.
Well, that tells you everything we need to know. I mean, if that's what the guys down on the field are seeing.
Well, I wish we were down near the field and we'd be able to tell you, but we're so high up, we got to look on the monitor. It's got to be something special when you're looking down from the dugout. And I mean, but we've seen him close up before. This guy's awesome. I mean, when he gets it rolling, look out. He's as good as there is. 200 strikeouts now for, I think it's 4 or 5 years. 5 straight years. There's that high fastball again, and that's the one that Tyler's gonna have to lay off. I mean, and once you start, you see the ball, it's tough to lay off of, man. It's so much easier said than done. But he's not going to hit that pitch there. That's above the belt. Now the crowd's starting to get into it.
2-2. Up and away. And a full count.
And they know this guy can go off and get on a roll. We were watching that game when he had 20 strikeouts on the plane. I think we were going somewhere, and it was something to watch.
The 3-2. First base runner of the game. Naquin reaches with 2 outs in the 5th. Among active pitchers who have punched out 200 or more in a single season.
Nothing but big names. Hernandez, Kershaw, Verlander, Greinke, and now Max Scherzer. Yeah, they're all very good.
Abraham Almonte with 2 down and a runner at first. Oh, he missed his location there, but whether it was just good fortune or not, he missed up out of the strike zone.
Yeah, it's actually a ball.
Almonte couldn't quite get to it.
I know it's actually a ball, but as a hitter, when you're geared to look for that fastball, you know you have to get it started early enough. So that's just a borderline pitch that it's really tough to lay off as a hitter.
Tops
Change
it.
up.
0-2.
Now here as a hitter, you just, I don't know. I guess you try to put it in play, and it's a good at bat if he doesn't strike you out.
I guess if I was a left-handed hitter at this point in the game, I'd have to say, well, he's not really coming in. I'd try to crowd the plate, take my chance, just try to slap something the other way against him.
Yeah, but he has been inside with some of these guys, though. He's got that cutter that he's been throwing inside. He throw that breaking ball down in the end. Looks like a changeup grip. No, high fastball.
Another time he missed his location, but he's going to get away with it. Another foul out, and the inning is over. No hits through 5 for Cleveland. No score in the ball game.
Rockin' Blast. That'll take place Saturday, August 13th. The Indians will host Albert Pujols and the Angels. Plus 12,500 fans will get a Bob Feller bobblehead. All fans can enjoy a pregame block party out in the right field district. Just go to Indians.com for your tickets.
Trevor Bauer goes to work against Ben Revere here in the bottom of the 5th inning in a scoreless duel. Revere has the only hit in the ball game. It was a 2-out single to center field in the 2nd inning. Bauer has walked 2, has struck out 4. A little high, 2-1. Jason Kipnis takes care of Revere, 1 away.
Well, Trevor Bauer has been dealing in his own right. He has kept the fastball down a little bit. He's mixed in his changeup very well. He's moved his stuff around. I haven't seen the good curveball yet. He's had a feel for it, but it's been primarily fastball, changeup, little cutter going in there. He's tried to get a feel for his breaking ball, but he's done a nice job. 1 hit, not too shabby.
He's got the pitcher Max Scherzer, who was called out on strikes to end the 2nd inning, and that was after it was a 3-1 count. And there's a base hit in the center field for Scherzer. His 7th hit in 50 at-bats on the year.
Well, Scherzer, guy, you throw that ball out over the plate, and he put a good couple swings on the ball, but it's away, right down in his wheelhouse for a pitcher. So he gets a base hit, 2nd hit, so it's a 1-out single.
Well, maybe that'll wear him down. Let him run the bases a little bit.
Yeah, that could be a thought too.
1 on, 1 out. Trey Turner, the batter, 0 for 2. Slowly chopped to Bauer. To second
Not
for 1. Back
guy.
to first, not in time.
Not going to get that guy. I mean, anybody else, I think you got a double play. Not with Trey Turner.
Are they saying that Bauer, the runner's safe at second?
For what?
I don't know, but they're saying
then that means that he must not have been on the bag.
That's what I guess that's what they're saying, and Lindor was not on the bag. Second base umpire Ron Culpa making the call there, and the Indians are going to check it out.
Well, and it's only a pitcher. You have to stay on the bag there. He's not going to take you out. You know, he was nowhere near the bag. That's a mistake by Lindor. That's an error, and it could be a big one. That's the old neighborhood play where he was trying to get rid of it too early. He was not on the base. He's going to be safe. Don't challenge it, boys. No, that's going to be an error, I would think. That's Lindor's fault right there. Coming off the base trying to get rid of it. You're not going to get that guy going down the line who could really, he's a burner.
Second error of the night for the Indians. And 2 on with 1 out now for Jason Worth. Stat of the game brought to you by Buick. Longest active streaks reaching base consecutively. Jason Worth now at 39 after he walked in the 1st inning. So Jason Worth, who flied to right his last time up, takes aim, drills it to Lindor, to second. There's 1. This time it is an inning ending.
Good
double
job.
play.
Good job.
Well, Bauer picks up his defense. They in turn pick him up. And after 5 innings, no score in Washington. Open is coming up this weekend down in Columbus at Scioto Country Club. And you got an opportunity to go see some of the best players in the world. This is the U.S. Senior Open. Guys like Tom Watson, Bernhard Langer, Tom Lehman, Kenny Perry, John Cook, the Buckeye will be there, Mark O'Mara, Mark Calcavecchia.
Great course.
Go online, 2016 USSeniorOpen.com. Buy your tickets. And if you can't get down there, we'll have the whole thing covered for you. Joe Buck and Paul Azinger, Curtis Strange, coverage on both FS1 and Fox. 18 hours of live coverage. Should be a fun weekend.
No question about it, on a very good golf course as well.
Just a couple hours drive from Cleveland down to Scioto Country Club. Yeah, that's where Jack Nicklaus cut his teeth.
Yeah.
And that's where he learned the game of golf. So it's a course that's been around since 1916. Well, speaking of classics, we're seeing one here tonight. Two guys who have brought their A game. It's funny, the official score tonight, Mark was up here and he was reminiscing with us about the 1997 ALCS and that game in Baltimore in which Mike Mussina was all but unhittable. And Charlie Nagy was dodging bullets all night long. This game's a little bit like that.
It is to this point, but what he was saying, the game that reminded him was Sunday's game with the Giants in town. Bumgarner against Roark. Roark got the win, 1-0. He pitched 7 innings. Bumgarner pitched 8. Said Bumgarner pitched better, but he had guys, you know, Roark had guys left on base, and that's just the way it went. He ended up getting the win. But it doesn't matter as long as you put zeros on that
exactly
board.
I mean, a guy might have electric stuff like Scherzer has tonight.
Well,
but if you can match him like Trevor Bauer is doing, you're giving yourself an opportunity.
Well, I just want to see one of our guys get into it and hit it over the fence. He's given up 24 homers. And it didn't even look like last time Bauer wanted to swing the bat.
Perez takes one in the dirt, 2-2. Yeah, Trevor never took the bat off his shoulder last time on. And he's a guy that likes to swing, so I almost wonder if maybe they didn't tell him, look, don't take any chances.
Hard to do, isn't it?
Well, I'm thinking because there were nobody on base.
Yeah.
Might have been a different story if there was a runner on, maybe a bunt situation. I don't know. 2-2.
Well, you take a swing like you buy a lottery ticket. There's always a chance.
Well, yeah, and it could be I'm reading way too much into it.
Yeah, I hope Perez gets on so maybe he can at least bunt. Or try to.
Last year he was the man of 100 different swings. He was imitating his teammates.
Right. Yeah, we had a lot of fun in Pittsburgh that one night.
Now the 2-2. Good eye.
That's good take right there on the slider. Very good take. Here's a pitch that, you know, it's easy to go after and swing at. That was the tantalizing pitch. He spit on it. Good for him. Full count now.
And the payoff came at him with a fastball. Roberto sends a high towering drive deep left center field, caught by Revere at the wall. A leaping grab by Ben Revere, taking extra bases away from Roberto Perez.
Oh, so close. He made a catch over the weekend against the Giants like that too. He timed it beautifully. He got up on the wall, made the catch. Boy, it was about a foot away from that home run, too. That was not that far away, but a great play by Revere. That's the leadoff man. They get him out. Look at Scherzer pumped. So there's been two good plays in this game now where the Indians don't have a hit. Scherzer with the bad throw that Murphy picked out of the dirt, and that play right there.
Bauer taking a fastball for strike one. And he swung, but it was a 94-mile-an-hour heater. 0-2 the count. Three pitches, and that's strikeout number 7 for Scherzer. 2 down in the inning.
Well, season tickets offer the best perks, including savings and access to Tribe Rewards. Today's Tribe Rewards TV code is Lofton. Visit Indians.com season tickets for complete details.
If you joined us late, Brad Mills is managing the ball club tonight. Terry Francona felt ill before the game, just didn't feel right. You checked him out before the ball game. Seemed to be that everything's okay, but just for precautionary reasons, Tito not going to manage tonight. He was in the clubhouse. They talked about maybe sending him back to the hotel. He may still be in the clubhouse. No official word on that. Just wasn't feeling well, and he was meeting with Andre and the reporters before the game, and he mentioned to them, he said, just something just doesn't feel right. So they got him all checked out. But Brad Mills managing the team here tonight, and boy, he's in the midst of quite a pitcher's duel. And we are already in the 6th inning now with 2 down. Carlos Santana 0 for 2 at the plate. The Indians lead the Tigers by 4 games in the loss column in the American League Central Division. If you look at the standings, it's a 2.5 game lead just because of the fewer amount of games that the Indians have played. The 1-2 offering. But they'll make that up over the next month, because the next off day for this ball club is September 1st.
They only have 2 the rest of the way.
Yeah, there's one more off day in the middle of September.
Right.
This is going to be a pretty important grind coming up here.
Yes, I would say so.
The 2-2 to Santana.
Carlos, man, he's got that dead pull swing going now. Everything he's hitting, he's rolling over on it. You can see he's talking to himself right now. That second ball he fouled off over near their dugout. He was so much dead on pull. He's trying to hit one out of here with one swing is what he's trying to do.
The 2-2. Oh, man. 97 up and in. That is strikeout number 8 for Scherzer. And this inning, his defense bailed him out. Trevor Bauer has allowed 2 singles. He's walked 2 and struck out 4. But his counterpart is not allowed a hit. So he's got to continue to battle and put up zeros. Daniel Murphy is 0 for 2 tonight. And he bounces one to first base.
You go get that leadoff man.
In-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. No scoring to show you, but we have a lot of great pitching. Max Scherzer has punched out 8, and the only base runner to reach was a 2-out walk to Naquin in the 5th. On the other side, Trevor Bauer has given up just 2 singles. He has walked a couple, but he's been every bit as good as Scherzer in some instances here tonight.
Yeah, Travis made a couple of errors tonight, but
he's overcome both of them.
You know, he got the big double play ball last inning when you know, Lindor made that mistake not staying on the base.
Deep left. It's over the head of Almonte. Here's the throw to second. And it is close, but Anthony Rendon has a 1-out double.
First time up, Rendon tried to take him to right center field. That time he pulls it, hit it right on the nose. See that fastball leaked inside a little bit. Gets over the head of Almonte, who had to wait for that ball off the wall a little bit. Makes a nice accurate throw, but not before Rendon can get into second base sliding. He gets in there with his 25th double. This is a guy here you better be careful with. He's awfully good with runners in scoring position.
He's 0 for 2 tonight. Taps this one to short. Lindor will go to first for the sure out, 2 down.
There you go.
Well, Roberto Perez out to talk with Bauer. Chris Heisey, they struck him out in the second inning, just overpowered him. In the 4th, Bauer walked him, if for no other reason than with 2 outs, he just kind of lost his command a tad. Heisey batting .212 now on the year. That might have been what they were talking about. Maybe they were. You think they would have been looking for something?
Well, I don't know. Here, 2-out bunt. Not from Heisey, a guy. He's not like that's part of his game at all. Period. But it's the element of surprise. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to do it, Ramirez was back
in a scoreless game. You're looking for anything.
Well, exactly. You're just trying to get Scherzer a run. But I'm sure that'll be the last time he tries. That's not even part of his game.
Oh, big curveball in for a strike.
Well, that's a pitch that if he had tonight, that's one. He slowed down and put a nice break to it. See, they haven't seen it a lot tonight. That's why it sort of locks them up.
2-strike pitch. And a fastball away. Couldn't get him to offer at it. That's a pitch, though, if you fall in love with it and throw it too much, it loses its effectiveness, is what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't had a good curveball in a while, and he had a good one for a while going. But, you know, at the right time, there it is.
Chopped to short. Lindor throws him out. And Bauer works around the 1-out double. 6 complete. Scoreless in D.C. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by the Injury Lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partner of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. By Ford, built Ford tough. And by Firelands Regional Medical Center. No score, 7th inning, as Max Scherzer takes a no-hitter. Into the 7th, he'll be facing Kipnis, Lindor, and Ramirez. Kipnis is fouled out, struck out. And that fastball misses inside.
He was behind Kipnis in his last at-bat. Came back and made some pretty good pitches to him after he was down 3-1. That's when he yelled at the catcher, Cutter, Cutter. He came back on the 3-2 pitch and threw a beautiful one. Well, it's 3-1 again. Or 3-0, excuse me.
Bullseye on a 3-0 fastball. And Kipnis thought it was ball 4. Instead, it's strike 2 and the count is full.
Well, that's borderline. It's borderline, but it's called a strike.
The payoff. Bullseye.
He wanted to, they were sitting away and he threw it in. And we've seen him do that a couple of times tonight. But he comes back from another 3-1 count and he's able to get Kipnis. That's strikeout number 9. Look at, they wanted it away. He threw it inside. It was a strike, too. It caught play.
You know the crazy thing, how many times did we see a catcher set up away, reach back across his body, and even though it's on the plate, doesn't get the call? That time he did. That's 9 strikeouts for Scherzer. You could say this is familiar territory for Max Scherzer.
Yeah, right.
He threw 2 no-hitters a season ago.
Oh, he's pitched some gems since coming here. 20 strikeout game earlier in the year.
Right back up the middle, and that's that. Lindor with a 1-out single. And the Indians have their second base runner of the night as the hometown folks give Scherzer a standing O.
Well, this one goes right back up the middle, right where it came from. There, Yellowwood bringing the lumber. Lindor breaks up the no-hitter. Fastball that wasn't quite up enough, but Lindor did exactly what you do, just take it back up the middle. So good job. That's broken up. Now you got to find a way to score a run. And this guy in his last at-bat almost broke up that no-hitter back in the 5th, leading it off. Tried the bunt hit, and it was a beautiful play by Murphy on the other end that was able to retire Ramirez.
Threw it away. Lindor's off to the races. He'll go all the way to 3rd. So Lindor at 3rd base with 1 out in the inning on a 2-base throwing error by Scherzer.
You know, I was going to say he's not an easy guy to run on because he'll hold it and hold it. But when he throws to first base, he throws it wildly. And Lindor able to get up and go to 3rd, man.
You know, you've said so many times, sometimes if you don't have a good pickoff move, your best move is to not throw over.
Right. Well, and you know what? He's setting up an inning right here where they're going to bring the infield in to try and cut this run off. But this is all.
Boy, this is a great matchup. One of the game's best pitchers, one of the game's best hitters with runners in scoring position, at least this year.
And doesn't strike out. And here you'll see Scherzer out of the stretch here. We've seen a number of guys that'll go from the full windup. He chooses, I'm going out of the stretch.
Scherzer from the stretch. And Ramirez clobbers it deep right. It's over. Heisey's heading off the wall. The Indians score first. Ramirez into second with an RBI double. 1-0 Cleveland. And one of the great matchups of the night belongs to Jose Ramirez.
Boy, he went down and hit a slider down, Matty. I'm going to tell you something. He almost drove it out of here. So they draw first blood against Scherzer. That stayed middle of the plate. It wasn't in. It had a lot of the plate, and Ramirez, one of the better RBI guys, takes advantage of it. Indians on the board. 1-0. And for Ramirez, that's going to be his 45th RBI. And boy, that was set up by the throwing error by Scherzer, and the Indians take it.
I'll tell you, Arch, usually I love all technologies. The one technology that I don't like as an announcer is the built-in LED out-of-town scoreboards.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't see the ball once it got up to the fence.
Yeah.
Even on the replay, it was hard to tell just how close he came.
It was
to
close.
Almost hitting that thing out of here.
It was close. He'll take the double. He'll take the RBI. The Indians have the lead. Now see if they can add on. Still just one out.
Lonnie Chisenhall has fouled out and lined out to left. He hit the ball hard his last time up, but he hit it right at Worth. Borderline pitch, called a strike.
And for the Indians, that is just the 4th time in their last 16 games that they have scored first and gotten on the board. Something that they've done so well this year.
4 out of the last 16.
Yes, 4th out of their last. That's what Redbird just told me.
I guess that would explain some of their struggles of late.
Exactly.
Although, runner goes. What a jump by Ramirez. He's got his 13th stolen base of the year.
Wow, now they got to bring the infield back in, and they see he did it where they still got an early count where, you know, you don't have to worry. That was a good pitch to throw. He double clutched, and he did. In the transfer, Ramos had a tough time getting him out, getting the ball out of the glove, and that's really a job well done by Posey right there.
Scherzer never looked back on him, and that's why Ramirez took off. So Lonnie with a chance now to get him home with that infield drawn in. Blooped it. Shallow left. Worth won't get there. It's going to drop for a hit. And Lonnie Chisenhall makes it 2-0 Cleveland. That is the risk you run when you bring the infield in.
Yeah.
You open up those little bloop areas on the field.
Yeah, but you have to bring him in that situation. You know, to try it. You're already down a run. They wanted to cut it off. And Lonnie, the high fastball, is susceptible to it. But if the shortstop's in his normal position, it's an easy out. He's not trying to cut off the run. The Indians get their 2nd run.
Now Tyler Naquin, who has struck out and walked.
The Indians didn't have a hit for 6 1/3 innings. Now they have 3 straight hits.
Yeah, they only had 1 base runner coming into the inning.
I like the aggressiveness of Ramirez stealing 3rd right there.
Boy, that was power versus power right there. That's the kind of pitch that Naquin has been able to get after and do damage on this year. But that time Scherzer threw it by him, and it's 0-2. Love the aggressiveness by Jose Ramirez, both at the plate and on the bases.
Well, remember, he's hitting 4th tonight for this ball club. It was Napoli with the night off.
The ball and 2 strikes.
I think these fans here are a little shocked. Coming into this inning, they were looking at a no-hitter. Now they're looking at it. Hey, man, we're down 2-0.
Pitches inside. I wonder if this has happened to Scherzer. I'm sure he's had some great performances that they didn't capitalize on. Otherwise, he'd have a better mark than just 12-6 and 23 starts.
Yeah, he takes you deep into the game. He doesn't give up many hits at all. You know, and for him, he's kept the ball in the ballpark. He gets his 10th strikeout right there. Well, he's been on his game.
Just a few weeks ago here, facing the Pirates, he went 7 innings, gave up 1 run, and lost 2-1.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're one of the best out there. You get the people come at you.
Although he ended up, I'm sorry, he got a no decision in that game. He did not get the loss. It was a 2-1 loss, but he ended up with a no decision. Breaking ball. He did take a loss against Milwaukee, in which he pitched 6 innings and gave up just 1 run and a 1-0 loss. So yeah, he's had some games where he's pitched well and deserved a better fate.
Well, this one's you know, a ways from being over, but at least they're on the board first.
Almonte lays off. It's down low. The 2-0 out of play. Bullpen getting some action now for the Nationals. Two one. Threw it by him. 7 times now in Max Scherzer's last 11 starts. He's struck out 10 or more. But this more than likely will be his final inning of work if he can get through it. He has gone as many as 119 pitches.
That's
in a game.
his 20 strikeout game.
The 2-2. In the air, pretty well hit, but playable for Revere in deep center field. The inning is over, but the Indians jump Scherzer. They get their first hit. Lindor and Ramirez turn it into the first run, and the Indians cash in twice. Max Scherzer in the 7th inning with 3 straight hits to open up a 2-0 lead. Now Trevor Bauer goes to work against the bottom third of the order. More than likely we'll see a pinch hitter for Scherzer, who's due up third. Espinosa has struck out twice and takes a called strike. Indians have Andrew Miller up in the bullpen. Nats have a lefty and a righty getting loose in their pen. Curveball down and in. As you said, still a long way to go in this one, but it's been
a great
really
game.
fun to watch these two guys
this is
pitch.
a pitcher's battle. I mean, Scherzer, you knew what it was going to be. Bauer has been pitching terribly in his last 5 starts, so he needed to come out, and he's had a beautiful start tonight. He's given up 3 hits. He had to match Scherzer. He's done just that. They're looking for him in this inning, and that would be his last. And that's what he needs for himself, for the team. Give me a good 7 and turn it over to my bullpen. They got him 2 runs right now. That's all he needs. And you figure coming into today, it's going to be a 2-1, 3-2 ball game when you have that matchup. You know, Scherzer's not going to give up many.
You kind of figure going in, this is a game, if you're going to win it, it's got to be that kind of score.
It's got to be a low-scoring 1-run ball game, and they haven't been playing a lot of 1-run ball games. They did Sunday, and they could possibly have one here, but give it all you got here, Trevor.
Another breaking ball, and Espinosa did get a piece of that to stay alive.
You know, and he's still in pretty good command, only 87 pitches for him. Scherzer's talking to Strasburg there because, you know, he knows his night's over with. Ramirez hit a good breaking ball down, but it was on the plate. And it was his mistake trying to pick off Lindor that sent him to third base.
Changed the complexion of the inning for sure. Santana stays with it. One away.
Changeup. As I said, Trevor has gone out there. He's mixed in his changeup. He's moved his fastball around, some 2-seamers, a little cutter, and he's had a couple of good breaking balls in the last at bat, but not overall for the whole game. But he's gone out, he's battled, and he's worked quickly. And these two have matched up real well, even though we told you this is Perez's first game catching him since the very first game of the year back in Philadelphia. But Bauer's been a different animal tonight. He's been different.
Well, he's only struck out 4, so it's not.
That's fine.
I think that's been the key to why he's pitched so well. He's kept everybody in the game.
He's only struck out 4. He's only walked 2. He walked 5 in his last start against Minnesota. He was all over the place. He had no command of anything. At least now he's going to be under the 100 pitch mark, hopefully, after getting out of this inning.
And there have been a couple of miscues behind him, 2 errors tonight, but neither have hurt. He's been able to work around them. Got a double play ball to get himself out of a jam in the 5th. And after the leadoff error in the 2nd inning, he struck out 3 batters to end the inning. So 2-1 count on Revere, and he lines that one in the gap. That's trouble. That will go to the wall, and Revere, off and running, stops at second base with a 1-out double. And now a pinch hitter coming up for the pitcher, Scherzer.
Yeah, he plugged the gap. That was something he left up out over the plate. Revere stays on it, drives it to left center field. Will get the second hit. They only have 4. Revere has 2. And now you're going to face the pinch hitter.
I think it's Brian Goodwin. He's a left-handed hitter.
You got it.
So here's Brad Mills. He could go to Andrew Miller right here if he wants, or he could just stay with Trevor Bauer. Looks like he's going to make a double switch.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because he doesn't want Miller short term.
Right.
He may want him for the 8th inning as well.
No kidding, because it would be second up. So you take who made the last out? Almonte. You put Rajai out in left field. You bring Almonte in out of the ball game. And then the pitcher goes into that spot. So, yeah, nice move. National League Baseball.
Brad Mills getting everything straight with home plate umpire Jerry Meals on the lineup card before he goes to the mound. And now he will make the Cleveland Clinic. Call to the bullpen for left-hander Andrew Miller. Trevor Bauer goes 6 in the third. Strong innings tonight. He leaves up 2-0. And we'll be right back. Is Andrew Miller. And if you're keeping score at home, he'll go into the 7th spot in the batting order. And Rajay Davis is the new left fielder. He'll go into the 9th spot in the order, and he'll be due up 2nd in the 8th inning, bottom half. Or in the top half of the 8th inning, rather. We're in the bottom half of the 7th with Brian Goodwin facing Andrew Miller. Brian Goodwin not much of a track record to go on here. Bloops one. Out goes Kipnis. He's there. Makes the catch. And there are 2 down. Let's go back down to Andre Knott.
You guys talk about Bryce Harper being out of the lineup tonight. For everything we gathered in pregame, he's not available tonight. Because of that stiff neck, he has been told not to even pick up a bat. He came here today, his neck was still bothering him. Dusty Baker said until the neck is not bothering him at all, not to pick up a bat at all. So I would not expect to see him come into this game late.
Well, that's good news then. If you can just eliminate him off the card.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like there's a chance he'll play tomorrow either, maybe. Trey Turner 0 for 3 tonight. Takes a strike from Andrew Miller.
Good fastball at the knees. Started him off slider, 97-mile-an-hour laser beam. Beautiful location. That's tough to hit that.
He went around.
He did.
And I mean, Andrew Miller just locked him up right there. 7 complete in D.C. The Indians 2, the Nationals nothing. Copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. The 8th inning here in Washington. New pitcher for the Nationals, Blake Trinan, right-hander, making his 50th appearance on the year, and boys, he's been special for the Nats. 2.01 ERA in 44 2/3 innings. He's walked 20, struck out 40.
Well, this guy, yeah, keeps the ball down and he throws hard and he's got sink to it. And he gets it up there in the mid-90s. So for Scherzer, 7 innings, 3 hits, a couple of runs, walked 1, struck out 10.
A little high, ball 1. You see that hits 98 miles an hour. Max Scherzer went 7. He had 6 no-hit innings under his belt. The Indians had only 1 base runner through the first 6. He got the first out of the 7th. And then the game changed on the Francisco Lindor single. Though it really changed when Scherzer inadvertently tried to pick him off. Or I should say inexplicably tried to pick him off. He wasn't going to, and he threw wildly. That enabled Lindor to go all the way to 3rd. With the infield in, Ramirez boomed one off the wall. And then Hosey stole 3rd. Infield in again. Lonnie Chisenhall blooped one in to make it 2-0. And that brings us to Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Take another look. Lindor with a base knock. And then a bad decision by Scherzer. Lindor makes him pay. Ramirez makes it hurt. And then Ramirez kept the pressure on when he stole 3rd.
Yes, he did.
They had to bring that infield in. Boy, Indians just took
it. Gave him an extra run, the hustler Ramirez.
Down low.
Davis inserted into the pitcher's position on the double switch.
Outside corner, a strike, 1-1. Tried to hold up, but he went around.
That was a slider right there. Ramos caught it and just flipped it out because it short hopped him.
Another 1-2 to Rajay. Fouls it off. For fans watching at home and following the story with Terry Francona out tonight, not managing the club, we've been showing shots in the dugout. Brad Mills, a familiar face, but people might be wondering who's that guy standing next to him. That's Matt Cotaro, who's the assistant hitting coach. But when everybody's roles get shifted around, he's now acting as the bench coach tonight for Mills. You saw him on the phone when they thought about the replay. Were they going to challenge the play at second base? So
he's back on the phone with Barney.
He takes Brad's role. I'll get on the phone and check that out. Almost got the
took one off the sounded like it hit a shin guard. Yeah, somewhere around there we heard it.
Might have got him right into one of those creases, you know.
Well, we saw this guy foul a ball off his foot in Cleveland. And I mean, he went down. Nobody came out to see him, but at least his manager's out there this time. But remember in Cleveland?
Yeah.
And then he ended up hitting a home run and just jogged around the bases. And nobody came out to see him after that. But that one had to hurt.
Take another
this
look.
guy's tough.
I thought maybe got him on the knee, but
No, it's off the ankle.
Looks like, yeah, the side of the ankle. It sure did. And as much that padding and protection that you see, the ball still seems to find a way where it gets through there. And that's a stinger right now. He's not talking to him. Just give me time, leave me alone. The stinging will go away. You guys get out of here. Sweat like a horse.
I'm not bringing this up to claim that things were better or guys were tougher in the older days, but how did Yogi Berra and people like that make it? They couldn't have had nearly
the protective
equipment that
Go
they
look
have
at their
now.
hands and shake hands with a few of the guys. How about Ray Fosse, who was just with us in Oakland? Now it hurts no matter what. They're tough. They're a different breed behind the plate.
A ball and 2 strikes with 1 out here in the 8th. Rajay, swing and a miss. Chase that one in the dirt. 2 down. Hey, it's a quick in and out here in Washington. Tomorrow, it's a 4 o'clock start, though. We'll start our coverage with Indians Live at 3:30. And then the first pitch comes your way. Josh Tomlin going for his 12th win. Lefty Gio Gonzalez goes for the Nats. And you can watch it all right here, or you can also stream it live on Fox Sports Go. Timeout for a pitching change. Dusty Baker is going to go back to his bullpen, and we'll be right back. Nothing. And the new pitcher is left-hander Sammy Solis, on for the 31st time this year. Carlos Santana will be the batter. Breaking ball a little high, ball 1. Santana 0 for 3, struck out twice facing Scherzer tonight. Turns around batting right-handed for the first time. A lot of Indians fans here tonight. I see a Tribe fan right behind home plate.
Yeah, there were a lot of. They made a lot of noise when they started to score a couple of runs.
Low, 3-1. Indians gear throughout the Nationals Park. There you go. This guy's got the great seats. He's right there. He's backing up Wilson Ramos. Carlos Santana taking aim on this 3-2 pitch. And a foul back out of play. It's been a fun summer watching this team come into its own, continue to grow, deal with some adversity here lately. But through it all, they've maintained the top spot in the Central Division. Santana down on strikes. We'll go to the last of the 8th. Cleveland 2, Washington nothing. Nothing. The Indians lead it, and we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Jason Worth, Daniel Murphy, Anthony Rendon due up for the Nats. Andrew Miller got the final 2 outs of the 7th. He'll stay on to start the 8th. Brian Shaw is up in the bullpen. And a fastball painted on the outside corner at the knees for strike 1. Just moved him off the plate a bit with a fastball, and it's 1-1. Foul back. Anders' last outing against the Yankees was just overpowering against his old club, and those guys who'd been watching him pitch said afterwards it was not a comfortable at bat.
Well, he's arms and legs, you know what I mean, and he's tough to pick up the ball, and he throws in the mid-90s and it's down at the knees, and he's got a vicious slider. Watch, he fouls it off his foot right here. I mean, it is a tough at bat, left or right-handed, man.
Left-handed hitters really don't like it because the ball looks like it's coming right at you and then darts over the plate. Down and foul out of play.
Well, and if you hit that pitch, that's pretty much where you have to hit it, is foul. Or you're going to foul it off your foot the later you wait on it.
slow hook trying to go to the outside corner. And Worth had no chance. If it would have been on the plate, it was a strike.
Well, after you
it was going to be a strikeout, yeah. I would imagine as a right-handed hitter, when you're facing a guy like Miller, you have to give up one side of the plate or the other. You've either got to look in and hope you can get it quicken, or look away.
It's that pitch down and in that you pretty much have to lay off because it may not be a strike. It's that one that he just fouled off. That's a tough one. The backdoor slider. You swing over the top of it because you're looking for that dart in. You know, it's almost like a crossfire where it comes out from here, and then next thing you know, it's in on you. You can't do anything with it. But that little breaking ball away keeps you honest.
Got a hanger, and that's drilled deep to left and gone.
Well, they're on the board.
Jason Worth's 14th home run of the year. And the Nationals close the gap to 2-1.
His 14th home run. And it's a breaking ball coming in. And you know, Perez just came out to the mound, and they talked about that pitch. But you can see where Miller upset with himself. He speeds up his bat, and he hits it and gets him on the board.
Daniel Murphy sends one in the air to center field. Routine play for Naquin. One down. And that's probably going to be it for Miller. Here comes Brad Mills. He'll make the move now. To Brian Shaw with 3 straight right-handed hitters due up for the Nationals. So a timeout in D.C. Washington's on the board. It's a 2-1 Cleveland lead. Reliever, more ferocious than anything Cedar Point has to offer. Recapping the keys to the game, brought to you by Mazda. Work the pitch count. Well, Scherzer was just filthy tonight. They did their best, and they finally broke through against him in that 7th inning, scoring a couple of runs. And Bauer, he was really fun to watch tonight. He matched Scherzer 0 for 0, and that's really the only choice he had tonight.
That's all you can do. I mean, you expect to come out and you have to pitch a good one. Bauer did. The Indians scored first, but we still have a game. It's 2-1 now. One swing of the bat.
Brian Shaw to face Anthony Rendon, who was 1 for 3 with a double. Outside ball 1. Outside corner, a called strike. Cody Allen is already up in the Cleveland bullpen. Should trouble arise, they won't hesitate to go to him. Again, it's away, 2-1. Might have helped him out. High fastball. He swung through it. 2-2.
Well, it's something that you see coming out of his hand. You know it's going to be elevated, so he went after it, and it was up high enough where he couldn't do anything with it.
Now
so he
Brian
helped him out.
Trying to put him away. Low and a full count. And the payoff. Swung on and missed. He threw it by him at 94. 2 down in the inning.
Comes the cutter. It's away. It's a good pitch.
Just ever so subtle movement.
On the full count.
Two down for Wilson Ramos, who is 0 for 3 here tonight. Out of play. One ball, one strike. Shaw. You saw again, this happens to pitchers. We saw it with Max Scherzer, as good as he is. You see the target one spot, and somehow that pitch ends up in a different zip code. Luckily, it didn't end up in the middle of the plate. That one did. And Ramos bangs it into right field. The tying run is aboard for Washington.
Ramos loves the ball away, and he goes that way with it. And he didn't try and do too much. Stayed on it, put a good swing, gets a base hit. And this is a situation now for the Nats where
they are going to run for him.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to run for him. It'd take a homer to score him from there. And this is where the good thing is for the Indians is that Harper can't pinch yet, because this is where you put him in, the right-handed pitcher.
Pedro Severino has only played in 3 games. So he's on the run for Ramos. You know, for sure, if Ramos leads off the inning, you run for him. But I thought maybe with 2 outs.
Well, you can't. You're losing. You got to
pull out all
on
the
a
stops.
gapper. You've got to have a guy that could score. I totally understand it.
Remember, Arch, where were we just at recently? Was it Dusty Baker? Was it?
No, it was Girardi in New York, where he didn't pinch run. When they were in Cleveland, he didn't pinch run with a guy with.
And then he did pinch run to him with 2 outs, and he scored on a double.
Yeah, that was back in Cleveland.
Yep. Chris Heisey taking a strike. It's quickly 0-2. Must be saving the only other left-handed bat on his bench, Clint Robinson, for a chance to bat in the ninth. This would have been a spot maybe you thought we'd see him. Swung on and missed. Heisey retired on 3 pitches by Brian Shaw. Nationals get on the board. The homer by Worth. It's a 1-run game as we go to the ninth. Sammy Solis stays on to pitch the ninth. He got the final out of the 8th. He'll face Jason Kipnis, who is 0 for 3 on the night, and Kip fouls the first pitch back out of play. You know, the guys were talking about possible postseason matchup down the road between these two. The Nationals just coming off a series against the Giants in which real postseason ramifications were on the line in the series finale, because should they meet in the postseason, as Kipnis drives this to deep left field, he can't get there. Worth will try to dig it out, but Kipnis is into second base with a leadoff double.
Now that ball slicing away from Worth. I thought he was going to catch up to it. I thought he had a chance to catch it, but as he goes sliding down, he does not, and Kip gets a double. He stayed on the baseball very well. You can see there's Worth, and he just about 6 inches short of that ball as he goes sliding into the wall. So there's your leadoff double. Now go pick up an insurance run here, boys. Kip his 23rd double.
Now Francisco Lindor, who singled and scored the first run of the game in the 7th. He squares, he bunts, it's foul. But should the Nats and the Giants end up with the same record, and then they meet in the postseason, Nats have the better record, they'd have home field. So that became a big game on Sunday. That crazy game we talked about that they won 1-0. That truly had a playoff
That's
feel
the last
to
time
it.
they play for the year.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Lindor swinging this way.
That's okay. They were trying to pitch him in at the corners. He can serve it that way to right field anytime he wants, it seems like, from the right side of the dish. So now they can go back a little bit. They're not going to bunt him this time. And just hang tough.
Lindor shoots at the first. Murphy.
There you go.
Made a nice play just to retire Lindor, but he gets his job done as Kitness goes to third.
That's what I was talking about. I didn't want to see him bunt even on the first pitch because he can serve it that way, in my opinion, anytime he wants. They throw him a high fastball up and away, and that even gives him an easier opportunity to take it that way, Matt. Surprised that they went with 0-2, something up and away. Usually you try to stay inside on him to make him try to pull the ball. And Murphy, who's not the first baseman, does a nice job to beat him to the base and get the out. Now again, they've got to bring the infield in.
And Jose Ramirez at the plate.
And this is how it was back in the 7th.
Only difference, Ramirez was batting from the other side of the plate. Bloops this one to center. That's going to get down. And the 2-run lead is restored as Ramirez delivers once again.
I'll tell you what, this kid, some nice special night right here. When you think about it, earlier in the ball game, it was Ramirez and Lindor that made the errors. And it's Ramirez and Lindor that have set the table offensively. He was jammed on this ball and just serves it into center field, just getting enough of it. And that shows you when the infield's in, that's all you have to do to get a run home. You make it look easy. He gets his second ribby.
I don't remember the old numbers, but you know, a 240 hitter becomes a 280 hitter.
Give 100 points. No.
Is 100?
We always used to say, when that infield's in, you got a man on third, less than 2 outs. You could raise your average by 100 points. Yes.
Well, those are not good odds then when you're facing Jose Ramirez, who's already a 300 hitter on the year, and
makes him a 400 hitter.
Close to a 400 hitter with runners in scoring position.
Right. And how appropriate he's hitting in that number 4 hole tonight, and he comes up in 2 situations, the 7th and the 9th, and guess what? Gets it done both times.
Swing and a miss. You know, Tito's only had him in there a couple of times.
I think this is the 2nd time.
This is the 2nd time?
Yeah. That's the only time I remember him hitting 4.
I think he did well the last time he batted cleanup.
He was I think it was in Atlanta. Another National League game.
Yeah, he 2 for 4 that night with 2 runs batted in. Yeah.
Well, he's going to be our designated National League number 4 hitter.
We have any more?
Yes, only they're at home against the Marlins.
We don't have any more road.
No, that's it. We got 3 more interleague games left.
Well, tomorrow, although with a lefty on the mound, I don't know how the lineup will change. Obviously, we'll see Napoli in there tomorrow, so he'll be in the cleanup spot.
Yeah, we're 9-6 coming into tonight's ball game against the National League.
Well, the Nats, they have really played well in interleague ball this year. They're
10-4.
Yeah, they're 4-0-1 in series. The split was against Cleveland in the 2-gamer back in Cleveland.
Well, and that's the way these 2 teams, and since they were in Montreal, have played 7-7 coming into tonight's game between the Indians and the Nats or Montreal.
I keep forgetting this was the team that came from Montreal.
Yeah, it's believe it or not, it is. And you know, they've been for the last 5 years really a good team. You know, these fans here since moving in here, they've been spoiled. This team has been very competitive for the last 5 years. You know, I don't know if you take it for granted or whatever, but
I think there's some of that maybe going on. Tom Boswell, who's one of the best baseball writers there is, writes for the Washington Post. He was writing about their game Sunday against the Giants and how it's just one of those classic late summer games, that all the implications. And he said if they win the division, he said, and the odds right now for them to win the division are at 97%, that'll be 3 division titles in 5 years. I mean, how rare is that, he writes.
No kidding.
Got him looking.
Yeah. Started that breaking ball at him. He'll go down looking.
Pat O'Brien, play of the game. Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, and coming right back up in this inning. One from the left side, one from the right side. Both the same result, an RBI and a left-hand turn to boot.
Keeping a close eye on Ramirez with Tyler Naquin at the plate. Tom Boswell didn't just ask that question without answering it. How rare is winning 3 division titles in 5 years? He writes, the Rockies and Marlins have never finished in first place in their divisions. The Orioles have finished first twice in the previous 32 years. In the past 21 seasons, the Red Sox, Cubs, White Sox, Reds have 3 first place finishes.
Wow.
The Royals have 1 in 30 years. The Mets have been first only twice in the past 27 years. The other teams with 1 or no division flags in the past 20 years, Milwaukee, Pittsburgh, Toronto.
I guess it's pretty rare.
So this is a pretty good run.
Yeah, exactly.
But people seem to get dulled by the fact they can't get past the hump in postseason play.
Yeah, but you know, sometimes it's a...
Around here, Arch, a lot of people think they suffer from the phobia that plagues the Washington Capitals, who have a great regular season every year, but they don't get it done in the postseason.
Yeah, but it's not the same correlation. You know, it's different sports. I know what you're saying. I know what he's trying to say. Well, they've got a very good team.
I think one of the hardest things for the modern day sports fan to do is just enjoy the moment, enjoy the season. And maybe it's because there's so much sports media now that it's all about win. You got to win. You got to be the champs. Instead of just enjoy the ride.
You never know when you get back again. When you have special years, there's no guarantees you're going to come back next year or the following year. You have to enjoy every year for its own. That 162 game schedule.
I don't know about you, but I thoroughly enjoyed the 2007 year, our first working on TV together. It was a great ride, but I never thought that team wasn't going to be back in postseason play the next year or the year after that. Didn't happen though.
No.
So you're right. There are no guarantees.
No, not when you go through sports and how tough it is. I mean, because the stars have to align and not even close.
Yeah, Naquin couldn't hold up, but the Indians get the run back. Jose Ramirez with another special night in the 4-hole. 2 hits, 2 ribbies. A chance to win it when we come back. With a star-studded doubleheader, the Pirates and the Dodgers, and then Mike Trout and the Angels will visit Cleveland to take on the Tribe in a game you'll only see on FS1. The action begins at 3:30 Eastern on FS1 or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Indians come home for, I believe it's our longest homestand of the season in terms of games.
Well, it's we've got that one makeup game, so it's 4, 5, it's 11 games.
That puts it over the top.
Yeah, it puts it over. Yes, it does. It's an 11-game homestand.
Well, Cody Allen, armed with a 2-run lead, will pitch the 9th, looking for his 21st save of the season. He's got the bottom third of the order due up here. Espinosa, Revere, and then a pinch hitter. Espinosa 0 for 3, taking a called strike. Cody Allen, last time out, in that 3-2 loss to the Yankees, he pitched 1 scoreless inning, struck out the side.
Yeah,
I mean, he just blew him away.
He had them both working. He had the fastball and the curveball. He came in, it was boop, 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 lights out. Looking for his 21st save.
Fouled right back. 2-2.
Well, this would be a great way to start this little short 2-game series if you come in here and you can beat Max Scherzer on game 1. Coming off an off day. The pitching staff has stumbled the last time through the rotation. Bauer went out and turned it around for himself.
Yeah, ball took off on him a little bit. Doesn't have that curveball here. At the outset, we'll see if he can.
Well, you go Power City, you throw a strike here, no walks.
And the payoff pitch. Hit high. Right field playable. Lonnie Chisenhall makes the catch, 1 away.
Well, that's what he did. He came right back to it and challenged him. There's the fastball. He got it, popped it up. That's what that 1 extra run did for the insurance for him in the top half of the 9th. It came out there and he was able to, let's go. I'm going to challenge you. If you hit it out, who cares? I still have a 1-run lead. And he popped it up, so he didn't have to try and be too fine.
Ben Revere. He's had a good night at the plate. He singled in the 2nd. He doubled in the 7th. 2 for 3, but the Nationals have not been able to get him home.
Yeah, you got Robinson on deck.
Fastball caught the inside corner to even the count. The 1-1, and Revere swung over the top of a nasty breaking ball.
There's the good breaking ball right there. He missed that by 2 feet. That was the good curveball. Don't know if he backed off a little bit, didn't try and overthrow it, but it was a dandy.
Got him again with the same pitch.
He got a feel for it quickly, didn't he?
2 down. Well, I think it was the pitch before, as you said, he made some kind of adjustment.
Yeah, he slowed it down a little bit and didn't try and overthrow it. Now he's getting good bite to it. It's back. It's got some late break.
$30,978 the attendance here tonight at Nationals Park, and a lot of Indians fans. They are ready to rejoice if Cody Allen can record the final out here. Tigers lost last night. They were shut out in Seattle. They'll be underway again coming up here in about 15 minutes or so. Clint Robinson pinch hitting with 2 out in the 9th inning. He lays off the breaking ball. Robinson 1 for 6 on the year as a pinch hitter.
Well, as Andre pointed out earlier in the game, that
no Bryce Harper.
No Bryce Harper, exactly. And we don't know if we're going to see him tomorrow. He'd be up in this situation, or maybe he would have been in earlier.
Yeah.
In the ball game.
Well, Dusty Baker does have the luxury, if you want to call it that, as we have seen luxuries disappear quickly, of a 7.5 game lead in the division.
That's true. And he says he's not going to play him until that neck feels better at all and there's no pain.
Chop foul. Doesn't seem like it was all that long ago the Indians had a 7.5 game lead, though. So
that's true.
All it takes is for somebody to get
I'll tell you what, Harper wasn't swinging the bat when we were back in Cleveland. He's had a tough second half. He has really struggled.
Brad Mills filling in for Terry Francona, who is ill. 2-2 pitch, fouled out of play. The 2-2 to Robinson. Up it outside and a full count. And if he does reach, Trey Turner, top of the order, would be next. (3-2). Just missed. Ball 4. And the tying run will come to the plate.
Well, he had that same situation with the leadoff man. He challenged him. This time he couldn't throw the strike. So the Nats still with some life.
And a fastball strike. Trey Turner 0 for 4 on the night. Struck out his last time up against Andrew Miller. Breaking ball and a curve just off the plate, 1-1. Pitch. Foul on the right side. Nats have certainly seen their share of late inning magic, but Cody Allen is trying to put out the fire quickly. Goes Roberto Perez.
that's one way of getting on the same page. You go out there and let's go face to face. Although the glove's over the mouth and nobody can read your lips, he's going to tell him what he wants to throw. No need to put a sign down.
In the dirt. On the year, Washington has 2 wins when trailing after 8 innings. They're 2-36. The 2-2 to Trey Turner. Fastball just missed. And a full count. This.
Yeah, a little low. Cody, 22 pitches in the inning, 11 balls, 11 strikes. Needs to throw a strike here.
Runner at first will be off. And he threw a strike, and it's fouled on the right side. Again, the 3-2. Swung on and missed. He struck him out to end the ball game. Cody Allen fans a pair and picks up his 21st save of the season as the Indians take the series opener by a final score of 3-1. The winning pitcher after all of that is Trevor Bauer. He'll go to 8-5 on the year. Max Scherzer will take the loss. He's now 12-7. With a win, the Indians are 63-47. Washington now 66-46. For the moment, the Indians' lead in the AL Central is now 3 games over Detroit, who will be underway momentarily out on the West Coast.